You're listening to TehachaPod with Key Budge and Greg Garrett.
Welcome to TehachaPod. I'm Key Budge. Greg Garrett joins me today. Greg, how are you?
I'm doing good, Key. Thank you.
Good. Hey, at a recent council meeting, we told our city council about Text My Gov.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to talk to them today.
I'm looking forward to it.
This is something we are launching for the community. And for those that are listening, this is going to be a way that we're going to be more effective communicators.
Right.
That's ultimately what our goal is. So this gives us that effective tool when we start to see how many people utilize text messages. So we'll be excited to bring in Nancy Francom, who's going to really elaborate on what we're about to launch. This has been a busy week for us. We had our recent podcast was our high-speed rail kind of follow-up. It created a lot of conversation. We've had people reach out to us. We had great conversations with the community. Mm-hmm. I think the community, and especially maybe those two neighborhoods, really understands that we here at City Hall do care about the quality of life for everybody, but we're standing up and fighting for those neighborhoods right now. I got that feedback from the community, not only at the press conference, but also through some of the social media and just some interaction with the public.
Right. We don't just work for the city. We live here, right? It matters. We raise our children here. We shop here. So we care deeply about what happens in our community. And we try very hard to have a positive impact, whether it's, the local government or some other government agency that is, imposing something on us. We want to make sure that we do the best job for the citizens.
And I guess that's our goal here with the podcast, is to deliver the information regardless of what the topics are. Let the community know that we're constantly thinking about how we can be better at what we do, mm-hmm. and then communicate that to them. And we're getting a lot of feedback.
We'd like to hear a podcast on a certain topic. I know you have a couple in the queue, if you will, but the feedback is so important because we don't want to go down a squirrel hole, right?
Right.
We want to keep everything relevant, right?
Yeah, you couldn't be more just spot on with that, because the feedback I get, usually it's when I'm in passing. I'll see somebody and they'll say, "Hey, listen to the podcast. Hey, you talked about doing part 2 on the water. Yeah, that fascinated me, the first part. I want to know what happens to it after we flush it away, after it goes down the drain."
Oh, yeah.
The wastewater aspect, because that's an important part of, the water department and what happens at the wastewater. So We'll have to bring back Tyler and Don for part 2 on that.
And then maybe recycling coming soon, right? The state of California is going to impose a third can on our residents. So that's coming here in the next year or so. So maybe we can get someone from Waste Management or WM, and we can talk about all the different elements that it's going to take to comply with that and do the right thing.
Exactly right. So, let's not delay what we're excited about, our launching of Text My Gov here at the city of Tehachapi. Let's welcome in and head on over to our friends at Text My Gov, who are joining the city of Tehachapi. Here on TehachaPod today, we've brought in a couple of special guests from a new application that we're launching here at the city of Tehachapi. From Text My Gov, we want to welcome Colin Mackey and Nancy Francom. Welcome, both of you, to TehachaPod.
Thank you so much for having us, Key. We're also really excited to begin working with the city.
This is going to be fun because, one of our goals, and as I talked to Greg throughout the years, is we try to get younger, meaning we want to reach a younger demographic in our community. And we really pay attention to some of the statistics that 81% of Americans like to use text message to communicate. Mm-hmm. And we thought this might be a better way for some of our members of our public to report things to us. If you don't mind, Nancy, can you tell us a little bit about Text My Gov and what we're going to be offering to our community?
So with Text My Gov, we really have 3 main focuses as far as what we're able to provide for the public. That includes being able to make it easier for citizens to report issues, whether that's, pothole repairs, fallen trees, code complaints, as well as being able to find information easily. It almost acts like a 24/7 secretary in that sense. And then lastly as well, you can also use this to receive both emergencies and non-emergencies as far as those alerts, so that your community can also be more involved that way and really just be aware as far as what's going on there.
I know we've been talking for the last year trying to come together as a bringing you on board with our communications. And so over the past couple of years, as you guys have grown, what have you seen? What's been your feedback from your customers and the communities that you serve?
So the feedback has been great. Being able to really provide something that anybody can use, just with the fact that everyone has texting available, has really made it so easy for anyone to be able to actually have access to this. One of the things especially is that, a few years ago when we didn't have the texting option with our company, some people have flip phones, which we had found with some of our older communities specifically, I'll say. But because almost everyone in this day and age does have a cell phone, even, flip phones have that texting capability, we've really been able to expand who we can speak with, who can actually use this program. And it's also just been really easy for that transition as well.
So Nancy, when we talk about this program, so Text My Gov is a texting tool. So with your mobile phone, and we'll give you the number in a minute, I guess, but you text it in and you get logged in, you say hi, and then you're in the system. So then if you're on a city street, you see a water leak, you see maybe a street light out or whatever, because, the city employees, we're not everywhere every day, right? That's your neighborhood. You'll see a water leak before we do, quite frankly, most likely. You could just text water leak, and then it takes you to our website, and then you can program in, hey, water leak on the corner of Curry and Valley, and then it becomes a work order, and we're more efficient for the taxpayer or the ratepayer, right? That's the core of what we're talking about.
Exactly. So you're exactly right in the sense that all they have to do is just text that phone number, because the way that the program works is it's able to pick up on specific keywords that the citizen will send over. And when it receives that, it will kick back that specific response. Mm-hmm. So with your example with water leak, say someone's walking by and they see that, they could text the program, hey, I see a water leak on such and such street. It will pick up on the word water leak and then respond with either a link to your website, more information, contact info. Essentially, that's up to the city as far as what response you'd like that to be, but that's really how we're able to do that.
Yeah, we have, and with water leak specifically, that's one of our keywords that we've put in.
Okay.
And then it will send the request tracker, mm-hmm. which is our system that we have built in on our website for the community to interact with us, the link to our request tracker for a water leak. So they'll be able to then fill in the blanks as they normally would. But we've made it a little bit easier for them by utilizing Text My Gov, because now they're not having to go search our website and then look for the request tracker link. They just, now that they've got the phone number built in, they can just text water leak to our phone number.
And so this is going to replace my paper and pen in my vehicle, because when I as a city manager, I drive around a lot, looking and meetings, so in and out of work, so on and so forth. I'll see something, street light out or a water leak, or we're using easy examples here, but I usually will write it down, and then when I get back to the office, I'll go to our website and fill out a work order, right? It's very cumbersome.
Right.
So this way we can use our mobile device. We want people to be safe, of course. Don't be texting and driving necessarily, but correct. You can be more efficient with your time, and we're going to be more efficient with your money. And the key, you just mentioned keywords. So you've been working with Nancy and the Text My Gov group, our Public Works, Police Department, others. So we've loaded it with a lot of keywords. Now, what if in the future somebody says, the dog was not in it because they saw a stray dog or something? We can add keywords later, right?
Yeah.
So this is going to be a living, breathing. We can continue to grow this platform.
Yeah, that's the beautiful thing about working with Text My Gov, is they've made it very easy for us, and it's been Ashley, Corey, and myself that have been populating keywords, mm-hmm. and we've been asking the front desk what are the frequently asked questions, mm-hmm. So that way we can address exactly what's coming in at that we see on a daily basis.
Well, sometimes the question is it snowing on the Grapevine? Are you going to load that on the Text My Gov? But seriously, we get lots of calls. So sure. How
So here, if they
how efficient is it going to be?
Say if they put in snow, and that's a keyword we added, then we could send them to the Caltrans app, so they can go straight there. So if you put in dog, we're going to send them to the Kern County Animal Control.
Perfect.
So those things, so we will be more efficient in being able to get them to the place they really need to be.
Right.
We do have to populate that on our end, mm-hmm. but that's the beauty of this software, is they've made it very easy for us to do that. Is that accurate, Nancy, Colin?
Yeah, absolutely. And even to add to what you're saying with that, not only can you populate those at any time, but say that somebody does text in something like dog and it's not there yet. Obviously, if it's not there, how's that going to help them in that moment, right? So what the program will do is it will take that keyword and it will actually tie that into the internal search of your city website, and it will kick back any any matches that it can find that's tied with, in this case, dog. So that way, even if it's not already in the program, the citizen is never going to hit a dead end. And we also are able to track any of those unrecognized responses as well.
Perfect.
So, it's really easy for us to add those at any time.
So you'll be able to see if somebody on your side, somebody put in dog, it wasn't there, and there was some, pushing here, pushing left, pushing right, and then we can go and correct that or add that word.
Exactly.
Perfect.
So as you start to grow and expand with the program, you can obviously add those keywords. And while you're going through that transition, with those words that aren't already in the program, they'll still be able to receive those responses through the search on the website.
So we could key. We've been with high-speed rail this week. That's been a big deal for us this week.
Right.
We could potentially put in HSR, or high-speed rail, that would take the consumer to the high-speed rail website, and they could look at the CEQA document or whatever they were searching for. And then at some point we can remove that because, they'll cancel the project or they'll build the train, right? It's irrelevant at some point, right? So words can come and go also.
Yes.
Planning commission meetings, city council meetings.
And we've got agenda built in.
Yeah,
so
okay.
if you're looking for the agenda, you type in agenda and we send you to the agenda page so you can find the one that you're looking for.
This is really cool.
Yeah, this is when Nancy and I first started talking, and I was like, man, this is something that I really can see the public grabbing onto and saying, wow, it's been easier and a much more positive contact with City Hall versus going through an automated system. You listen to the automated response, press 2. Okay. And then you're prompted to do something else. So this, is the way we as Americans are communicating, is via text message. 81% of the American population is texting.
And you mentioned our demographics. Tehachapi is getting younger. I'm not getting younger, but our demographics are getting younger. So we're targeting the audience that is growing.
Yeah, we want to bring them along with us. Now, has that been, I'm kind of curious, without mentioning any other agencies, what have been some of the philosophies on why they've added Text My Gov? Is it something similar to what we've been talking about, or are there other reasons that maybe we haven't even looked at yet?
So as far as Text My Gov, because you can customize the way that you use that, we've really been able to configure it to match the needs and requirements for these different cities. One big thing, of course, like you said, is your population base. With some of our populations, a lot of that actually was that they had an older community. And so, even if they have a flip phone, they can still use the texting feature. So they can still receive those alerts. They can still find that information. So that has been a really big thing too. And I'll also add that, especially with this last year with COVID, this has really just been such a huge save for that because, with so many offices being closed, people still have questions, I would say more than ever than they did before, because, no one's really sure what's going on with all of these changes. But even with an office being closed, people can still find the information automatically. So their call is still being answered. They can still have that assistance, even if no one's in the office to take that phone call.
That's good stuff.
And one last thing I'll add that's kind of related to that too is also the time it saves for both ends. Because, of course, if that staff member is already on the phone, they can't take that incoming call anyway because they're already helping someone else. And so this way, regardless of how many people can actually be there to help, people can still find immediately that answer because, if all they want to know is, for example, office hours, that can just shoot back the office hours. It doesn't take much more information than that. So it really saves the citizen time receiving that immediately, but it also saves the staff time as far as having to help take the call when what they would tell them is the exact same response.
Right. So this is an information transfer platform. So it does not supplant 911, right? If you have an emergency, you still do what you need to do, right? Whether it's 911 or ambulance or, running to the ER yourself. This is not that, right? We want to make sure that everybody knows that.
Now you did
Right. This is in no way something for reporting emergencies.
Yeah, all non-emergent, and that's how we're putting the information out to the public.
Right.
And the police department still is going to utilize Nixle to do emergency public safety notifications.
Right.
But Nancy also mentioned something in the word alerts. We're also able to do push notifications to our community as well, utilizing the Text My Gov. It's a separate opt-in, but that gives us the opportunity to send out information. Maybe it's the farmer's market, just announcing the new farmer's market hour, or we've got a water leak and we're going to close a road temporarily. So we can send out push notifications. Nancy, is that cover that correctly?
Yes, you're absolutely right, Key. So with that same function, people can subscribe to receive those alerts. And the great thing is, and now this, of course, is also up to the city as far as what type of groups you'd like to have. But essentially, where everybody would like to know about more things that are, more immediate, such as a road closure, we have also seen that there's a bit of a difference as far as who would like to know about events going on, or, like you said, the farmer's market. And so we also wanted to give you the option to create different groups so that the public can sign up for different types of alerts, depending on what their interests might align with.
It just makes it very easy for the public to get the information the way they like to get it.
Right. And you said subscribe, so it's a free subscription, but how would you sign up for the push notification? So earlier we talked about, get in the system if I want to report a water leak, but how would I tell the system to send me information?
So as far as the way that we would do this, you can simply text in to a short code number that we provide to the city. With some agencies, I've even seen them include that in that greeting message, letting them know how to do that. But Key, obviously this is also customized to your city. So I think you'd also be a great tool as far as telling, the public how Tehachapi specifically is going to let them know about that function.
Two things. First, we want you to opt into the system before you actually need it. So we want you to text the word HI, H-I, to 661-441-3844. That's 661-441-3844. Send HI, and then you'll get the response back. Save that number into your text messages as a contact for us. So when you see that pothole, then you just pull it up and send pothole. Mm-hmm. Now, if you want to receive the notifications from us, and we see like the farmer's market and other types of things. Right now, we haven't set up any separate groups. It's just going to be one generic push notification. You'll send the word Tehachapi to the short code of 91896. So 91896 is the number you put in, and Tehachapi, and now you've opted in. And if at any time with either of these two different systems, just type in the word stop if you say, hey, I don't want this anymore. Mm-hmm. And then you're out. It's that easy.
Mm-hmm. This sounds like an exciting tool. We have so many platforms, whether it's Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all the social media. We've got Nixle. We're now adding Text My Gov. Are any other cities in Kern County utilizing this platform?
As far as the county itself, I think that Tehachapi would be the first, but we do, of course, work with other cities across California. Yeah,
I think when I prompted you, not only we number one in Kern County for bringing Text My Gov, which we're very proud to wear that hat, but we're the eighth agency in the state of California to bring it on board. So as you've got strong representation in other states, California is really finally starting to recognize the value of Text My Gov. Mm-hmm. And to be in the top 10 to launch with you, we're pretty excited about that.
Yeah, for sure. I'm excited we're able to provide it, and I hope others do too, because this sounds to me like it's just going to be a win-win for everybody.
And I'll tell you, if anyone is listening, any of our other neighboring agencies, because we know some agencies do, this has been one of the easiest groups to work with, communicate with, get the training and education for us on our side done. And so Nancy, let me just say thank you to you. And I know that it was you and I early on, and then we've gone on to work with Danny, but this has been just a great collaboration up to our launch. So thank you for all the efforts you've put in.
Yeah, likewise, Key. We're so excited for, the launch and everything. And we also appreciate you having us on with you today.
I'll go out on a limb here. Is this the first government agency podcast that has asked you guys to come on?
Yes, it is actually. For me, at least specifically, it is my first.
We're gloating a little bit here, but no, I mean, the point remains, you cannot be too transparent. You cannot communicate enough, and you have to provide different platforms because different people use different platforms, right? The only thing I have on social media is Instagram, right? Others have all kinds of things, but I just have Instagram. And I have, of course, Nixle that I've signed up to. I've already signed up to Text My Gov. I'm really excited about that. It's another tool that you can utilize to communicate with your local government that works for you, right? Let's make sure that everybody is reminded of that. We're working for the taxpayers of this country and this city, and it matters what we do. It's going to affect you in a positive or negative way, potentially.
Yeah, this is an effective way for us to communicate with the public. I think they're going to appreciate it. I think we'll have more people utilizing this than we actually, thought early on.
I think so.
Yeah. Nancy, Colin, anything else that you guys want to throw out that maybe we didn't talk about that the public might really value that maybe we passed over?
I don't think anything specifically comes to mind, but I would urge that anyone that does start using TextMyGov, definitely save that number in your contact. That way you can just pull up that phone number and just text it the same way that you would with any other person in your phone. I mean, it's really that easy.
Well, I appreciate it. We're going to give the phone numbers again right now. So to opt into our system so that way you can use the single word searching, it's 661-441-3844. That's unique to Tehachapi City Hall. Just text in the word hi. We'll send you an automatic response, and then you're free to use it whenever you need to report an issue. And then also, if you'd like to opt into our alert messages for non-emergent messaging, we want you to send the word Tehachapi to 91896. Well, Nancy and Colin, thank you so much for joining us here on TehachaPod. We appreciate your time, and we're excited about the launch. And I think our citizens are going to, really use it.
Looking forward to it.
We're excited, Key. Thanks again so much for having us.
Greg, the launch of Text My Gov, it's here. What are your thoughts? I wanted you to sit in because I briefed you on it, but now you got a chance to hear a little bit more from the developer side, what we're bringing to the community.
I'm even more excited. It's, as I said a couple times already, another platform, right? We want to make sure that the data, the information we're communicating out, and people are commuting back in to the city. So I'm just super excited about this.
Very simple to use. I mean, 661-441-3844 is our text number. That will be our assigned number for text messages. To get it all started, just text hi, H-I, and then we'll send you an automated response, and then you'll be able to utilize keywords and then type in the word. And like Nancy said, if it's dog and we don't have dog in there, it'll tell us, and we'll be able to look and say, oh, someone did want to get a hold of animal control. And even though animal control is not here at the city of Tehachapi, it's through, we contract with the county of Kern. Mm-hmm. We can then send them a link and contact information directly for that. So if they send in loose dog, then we can now send, that information so they can talk to the correct people.
Right. And the goal is to make things more efficient, right? We want the residents to have a more efficient way to gather information or tell us something that's on their mind.
Exactly right. And we've got right now, we've got about 150 words processed in, but we'll be adding to that as we find out.
I bet we do.
Yeah, someone will send in something and it'll prompt something, and we'll be continuing to add to make this easier. Mm-hmm. And then part 2 is the alert notifications, non-emergent alert notifications. We want you to text the word Tehachapi to 91896. And then once you've done that, you've opted in to receive messages. So we'll say, hey, reminder, farmers market today at 4 o'clock on Green Street, or, it's the 4th of July fireworks festival. Whatever it is, we'll be able to send those notifications out, and you can stay in tune. And if you don't want to receive them, then you just send back the word stop, and you're out of the system and won't get them anymore. The police department will still be utilizing Nixle for public safety notifications.
I think that's a key point, right? This does not supplant the emergency system in any way.
This is non-emergent communications. Mm-hmm. So we want to make that clear. The police department and Chief Krager has his Nixle system, and I believe the keyword is Tehachapi there also.
Super fine-tuned, well-utilized.
Yeah, and one thing is that the chief makes sure that it is for public safety notifications. He doesn't want it to be the boy who cried wolf every time you send something out. Mm-hmm. This allows us to send out a little bit non-emergent, generic, fun information for those that want to know about events or happenings that are going on here in the city of Tehachapi.
Meetings,
Yeah. So those are the things that we've got that we're launching with Text My Gov. We hope you enjoy the easier response or easier communication with us here at the city of Tehachapi. Now, it doesn't change. We're not getting rid of the phone, you can still give us a call at 822-2200.
I have that in my notes, actually. I want to make sure that everybody knows it's yet another platform. So please email me, call me. We can still meet in person. We have all of them. This is yet another platform.
Yeah, we have not eliminated
None of them.
anything. So you can still stop on by, or like Greg says, shoot us the email, make us the phone call if that's what you prefer. Go to the website and use the request tracker and search it. Those are not changing. This just helps you if you're mobile, or if you don't want to go to the website and then look for it. We're sending you there a little bit quicker through another route. So hopefully you find it as easy as we perceive it to be. And we've done some testing on it, and it's been very responsive, very quick. So again, the phone number for us, the new text phone number, is 661-441-3844. And you could text in the word TehachaPod, and we will send you to our link to where you can find it on one of the podcasting platforms.
Sounds easy enough that I could do it.
Yeah, it's Greg proof. Folks, we really appreciate your time. This is something that we're excited about, and we always appreciate you joining us. Please tell a friend about TehachaPod. Get the information back to us, as Greg mentioned, about show topics. Send us an email, media@TehachapiCityHall.com. It'd be great to hear that response when we got the feedback on hearing the wastewater, and then also about the recycling and the trash and the household hazardous day out at the landfill. Those are things that we are going to do in future episodes. So we love those ideas.
So Keith, real quick, our economy is opening back up, right? Super excited about that, and don't want to divert too much from the topic today, Text My Gov. But Saturday, April 10th, the depot will be opening up. So Saturday on the 10th at 10 a.m., they'll be opening up. And they'll also be collecting donations for the Loop Platform Project. So wanted to throw that out. We appreciate everybody's support with that project. Appreciate everybody's support with all the local businesses, whether it's restaurants or retail, whatever it happens to be. I'm so proud of our city on how we have reacted and managed our way through this pandemic, right? So thank you to everybody. But be careful out there, and go to the depot this weekend and say hello.
I love that. I've been waiting for that because they had their anniversary was scheduled. They were going to have a big anniversary celebration, and COVID knocked that right off the rail.
Right. Yeah, it was 10 years last summer, and now it's 10 and a half years. So hopefully we'll be able to do something this summer.
If you've never been to the Depot Museum on Tehachapi Boulevard, it is so cool.
Mm-hmm. It is. Lydia Cheney told me that she's going to dress up in an engineer's outfit and be taking donations for the Loop platform. So go down there, make a donation, and say hi to Lydia. She's the owner and operator of South Street Digital.
Very good. So things to look forward to as the weather warms up. We're going in a positive direction.
Yep.
Really looking forward to it. Again, reach out to us, media@TehachapiCityHall.com. Let me give you our new text number. It's 661-441-3844. Text the word hi. You're in our system. And if you'd like to receive alerts, text the word Tehachapi to 91896. And we'd like to thank our friends from Text My Gov for joining us. They were great, insightful, and hopefully you will embrace the information and utilize the new technology that we're launching, the first to do it here in Kern County.
TehachaPod is a conversation about Tehachapi designed for the people who live here or who would like to know more about this mountaintop community. If you have a question you would like answered, email media@TehachapiCityHall.com. We will try to answer it on a future episode of TehachaPod.